Om Namah Shivaya. What an amazing mantra of Divine Mother. Om, the sacred sound. Let's talk about that and all the other things as well that I see here in the chat. So I mentioned yesterday on the call, Divine Mother one day pulled me inside the earth and we had a little chit chat about forgiveness and how it is really important to love all life and to love it free, as Patricia always says, because it is only when we love all life, we are completely free, and then all life around us is set free. As long as we hold on to something, we are really limiting our own being, our own expansion. And so she said how important it is to forgive everything, everyone, no matter how bad, no matter how terrible, no matter how awful. And I know it's not always easy, but it's the only way to completely forgive all things. And that is because we live in a dream within a dream. This is really important. Now, it might come as a surprise to many that actually all dimensions are dream dimensions. Even the beautiful temples of the masters, even the angelic queendom, it is all a beautiful cosmic dream. It is God, really, creator and divine mother, dreaming. It is one big cosmic dream. That dream is beautiful because all beings know exactly that they are within a beautiful cosmic dream. When you know that you are in a cosmic dream, then you are a dreamer enjoying this amazing opportunity to create. That is creation. It is creation. And so creation is dreaming. It is a talent. It is a gift. It is the greatest gift because that's what we were created to do. We were created to expand creation through our own beautiful dreams, through our own beautiful ideas, inspiration, whatever arises in the heart, the sacred heart. And so creation originally, the idea was that all beings will be doing what really Source does, and that is to dream beautiful dreams. Why would anyone want to be dreaming a nightmare? I don't know, but that's what happened on planet Earth. So when beings on planet Earth forgot how to dream well and started to believe that the dream is real, that is when we got into trouble, as you can imagine. So let's think about this. We say awakening. Awakening from what? Well, it's like in the movie Inception. We need to first awaken from the dream within a dream so that we can step into the dream that is beautiful. The new earth dream, the heaven on earth dream, that too will be and is a dream. Because all realities are created through imagination and through love. When you combine imagination, love, and all the other wonderful divine skills that we have, you create beautiful realities. Then you go to like Venus and you create the temples of light. You create beautiful, conditions, situations. You create architectures. You create these beautiful, really rearrangements even of Mother Nature. That is dreaming at its best. That is a gift. Beings who dream at that level enjoy it because they can dream anything they want. They can even dream a new solar system into being. Eventually, they can dream their own universe into being. It really depends on how evolved beings are. They can create their own universe. One day you will create your own solar system. That is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to have fun, to enjoy, to honor this gift, to be a co-creator with Source. So what happens then in a world like ours, when beings forget that they are dreaming and they start taking the dream so seriously, they even love each other. I mean, want to kill each other. See, it was hard for me to say. So when beings believe the dream so much, they actually hate each other so much, they go and kill each other because they believe that there is an enemy. When they believe there is an enemy, that is delusion. That is believing that delusion is actually psychotic then. So that's why we call it collective psychosis. So let's think about it. How do we wake up from the delusion? People say separation. It's one of the things, because when you know that you are in a cosmic dream, fulfilling the purpose of being a co-creator with Source, then you can go and harm something or someone, or even, hurt, or on this planet, like what happens, wage a war. That's taking it to the next level. That is then called a nightmare. And so how do we first wake up from the nightmare so that we can step into the beautiful dream? Does it make sense? That's why Divine Mother calls this dream within a dream. And so the dream within the dream is the one that needs to end. People call it different things. Yogananda called it a nightmare. He didn't like it here, by the way. But the thing is that we need to understand that all things are a dream. Some people say God is a mind. To some extent, yes, is the divine mind. Without the divine mind, there is no dreaming. And so everything is a beautiful dream. I would suggest we all start dreaming beautiful dreams. So when a human being wakes up in the morning, they feel like reality is given. You woke up and it's there. When a divine being wakes up in the morning, if they sleep at all, then they immediately go into their connection with Source. In Source, they find inspiration. They connect to the elements of Divine Mother, which is the Om Namah Shivaya, the 5 elements. They clear the quantum field with their Om, and they start creating, putting stuff out into the quantum field, out of love, out of love, out of love, only out of love. There is no other way to create at that level, but out of love. When a human being wakes up in the morning, and I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the ordinary world out here, they say, I have to do this, I don't like this, I really hate this. And then I'm a victim of all the circumstances that exist around me. And so I'm not feeling good. But that's not what a divine being does. Divine being says, I am a child of divine Source. I have the incredible gift of Divine Mother, the gift of creation within my heart. I am all love, which is the Christed being, that is the Krishna, that is the Christ, that is Osiris, that is all the beautiful beings, Quetzalcoatl, so many different names, those who embodied the Christ self. And they say, how can I create in honor of Source, in honor of Divine Mother? What would Divine Mother want me to do? And she moves through the heart and bam, she creates. And so it is. That's the miracle maker. The miracle maker is the one who understands creation. And it can happen very fast for those who understand the 5 elements. Everyone who understands how 5 elements behave and what they do can create instantaneous changes in the quantum field that we all live in. Now, the quantum field here, I saw it thanks to Divine Mother. I really love this because thank you, 1111. I love it. Now, I thought about it this morning when I was chanting Om. I chant Om every single morning, not because Yogananda said so, but because Divine Mother showed me what exactly Om can do. So I've shared this many times before, but for those of you who haven't seen the quantum field is truly made of rainbow strings. So physicists say string theory. I say yes, there are strings within the quantum field. It's a spider web, really. The spider web is how reality is being woven. So there is something called the mother spider. They called her many different names. All the ancient traditions spoke about her, and she really exists. So the spider grandmother, for example, of the Hopis. So the quantum field is made of strings of rainbow light. Rainbow light is Source light. Now, when a human being is always creating from love, from consciousness, from the divine mind of Source, beautiful patterns are woven around you. and into this web of creation, because that's what we all do. In all dimensions, we create more and more and more of the web. That's why it's so easy to get lost on it too. But that's why we also have the sacred sound of Om to always remind us of source. So Divine Mother showed me that when a human being doesn't know how to use the gift, so let's say they're thinking negative thoughts half the day, they're saying negative things about something, someone, who knows what, maybe even about themselves, all of it creates really broken patterns in this quantum field. And then the person has these broken patterns around them, and they have to really then witness the result of all these broken patterns. So in a way, we are never a victim. We are always a co-creator of whatever circumstances surround us on a personal level, but also on a collective level. We all contribute. So then we have these broken patterns around 8 billion people on this planet. But Divine Mother said there is one amazing, really the sacred formula, which is Om, the sacred sound of Om. And she showed me. I was inside the earth with her when she showed me, and she chanted Om with me. And then we watched the quantum field together. It was amazing. So imagine all these broken strings around everyone, really. You know, very few people live like a master of themselves. So let's say 8 billion people have broken strings. And then that one Om brought all those broken patterns back into beauty and alignment and harmony. That was amazing. Since that day, I never skip my Oms. And so hopefully, you know, I want everyone to see this, because seeing is actually very beneficial, as you can imagine, is that when you see what it does, you can never, ever go back to being the old self, because you've seen the implications of negative thought. You've seen the implications of any words that do not honor life, and so on and so on. So it's great. We are stepping into our mastery. So I chant my Oms every morning, and I just know that's all it takes. And so life is then very beautiful, because once you fix the quantum field, it's almost like Divine Mother also deletes the karma, because it is only the patterns. It's only energy. Everything is energy and patterns. I do 3 Oms in the shower, and I hold the water that comes from the shower in my hands, and I chant Om to that water and to spill it into the world, to all beings, so that the power of Om is spreading through the quantum field of water. Because as you can imagine, water, it's when you hold a drop, but you talking to the oceans. So it's very powerful. So let us really remember this amazing power. Yes, you know, there's a mess, but we can definitely just bring amazing divine order. Divine order is beauty. It is not a physical beauty, by the way. You know, it's funny because this morning Divine Mother was talking to me about how, you know, in this world, there is a lot of misunderstanding of beauty. And in higher dimensions, beauty, what we understand as like symmetrical face, is not important in any way at all. You actually will find beings who do not at all, you would say, have symmetrical, beautiful faces according to human standards, because it doesn't matter at all. And so we have all these pictures of angels, and we have all these pictures of the Pleiadians, all blonde, blue-eyed. It's kind of silly, really. You will find those too in cosmos, but you will also find beings that human beings might say, well, that's an ugly looking being. And yet there is no such thing. So you will find beings who take on forms that are really foreign to us. And so true beauty is not expressed through the symmetry of the face or blonde eyes or blue eyes or whatever they are, or hair, but it is always a quality of the heart. It is always a quality of the heart and this divine mind. That is truly beautiful. So I also thought about that, you know, Divine Mother, when she presented herself, sometimes she comes, you know, in all sorts of forms. And like this one at Mount Shasta, she came, and I say it, a big black lady. And, you know, not many pictures depict her that way. And yet, of course, she is the Aboriginal mother also. And I don't see pictures of angels so often with dark skin, you know. So it's good to open the mind to all of this, that actually, you know, it might not be exactly how these pictures show us. I've seen beings who are incredibly advanced, so advanced, and they look like kind of like praying mantis, very advanced beings in cosmos, you know. So again, it's just good to open up. For example, you know, here on planet Earth, wrinkles are not so popular, but some of the very high beings I've seen in cosmos who do a lot of work, they just have like very wrinkly skin, and it is by their own design. So just want to say. Yeah, the ancients, exactly. It's good to know these things. So let's talk about the magic and mystery. Number one, it's important to know we do need to be liberated to be able to create from this very high level. As long as we have burdens around us, within us, of course, our creation will not be pure. And also we will not be allowed to have instantaneous manifestations. So number one, Yogananda gave us those steps. Let's follow them if you can. And that is really amazing. And that is the step of purify the human self from the self. That is the real crucifixion. We are returning to the Christ self. The new design of the human being will be the Christ self. That's how it was meant to be, the beautiful rainbow body. Second step, we want to bring more light into our being, kind of fixing, you know, after this human experience, let's bring some light in. Then the next one is connecting with our soul body. Then the next one is connecting with our spirit body. And then finally merging with the consciousness of divine source. So that's the steps we always follow. We go into, every single one of us, into this amazing expansion. So for creation, I do use magic wands. I have this one, which is about 24 inches long. It's very heavy. So definitely on Etsy. I got both from Etsy. Let me show you the other one. I showed it last night. This one is much smaller. It's about 12 inches or maybe even less, but they both use something which is really important, and that is quartz crystal. Clear quartz. Clear quartz is a magical consciousness being that is the highest, really, to me, a crystal that only allows light. The only allows light. So when you know, what is it, wave your wand, you know, you are waving light, but also it protects you. Protection from, no matter how small, is really also important. It only allows light to enter. Now you can cast light with this, and you can pull in light. So when you work, for example, the more practical one is the smaller one, definitely. It acts as an antenna. So for example, you point it at the sun and you communicate with the sun, and you bring the solar energies of all suns, you know, like today we will be working with the central spiritual sun. You pull it down in the highest really quality of light through the quartz. It's amazing, you know, the quartz is really unbelievable. It can just really, you know, I've seen the quartz do its work. It's no evil can touch, no darkness can touch when quartz is with you. And so we want to always be in this very high energy of light. So when you direct it at a certain source, like let's say you put it above your head, you call in the light of Polaris, and you bring in the light of Polaris, like the practice that we have right now. So you bring the light of Polaris and you bring the light, this is ultraviolet light, into your head. You can be pointing, you know, that's what crystals are for. You point at yourself. So magicians in this world, if everything is only in the mind, it is not created. It is just being designed. We are in a world where time and space is very slow. It's very physical. It's very slow, very slow. And so in this time-space reality, you want to be actually using your physical self to put things into creation. That means your voice. That means your body. Something physical, you know. So when I was creating, for example, the 33 codes, the beings really insisted it's a physical book, even though, you know, it could be spiritual technology, but they wanted to anchor it into a physical object. And so it is with our magic wands. And so it is with the way you speak it into being. You talk to the ether, you bring it into the ether, you talk to the sources of light, Polaris, all the solar sources of light. You speak to Venus and you bring it with your magic wand, or if you don't have a magic wand, use your hand or maybe hold a crystal. The crystal I highly recommend because I've seen miracles happen with crystal. I have so many crystals, but even the smallest, yes, definitely, even just holding the crystal, and definitely quartz, clear quartz. Many beautiful crystals exist in this world, but clear quartz is, from what I've seen, the highest magical tool ever for all sorts of, protection and bringing through the highest of the highest, the clearest of the clearest. So you pull the light down, then point the crystal at your head. You bring the light down, point the crystal at your heart, bring the light down and bring it down to, I love it, 333, to your abdomen. When you work with the light of Venus, it's amazing. We are bringing really heaven to earth, and it will happen through you. It will happen here when we clear the mind, when we clear, the heart, when we clear the emotional field. So today, Divine Mother will take us into the next, all of these are initiation journeys, really. Let me do this one. So once again, we are working with increasing our inner light. The more we increase the inner light, the better it gets. Consciousness changes. The human self with all the stories kind of really dissolves. You will be so surprised one day to wake up and there is nothing really to talk about when it comes to the human being. You only will be in your divine consciousness, in your divine bliss, fully expanded, knowing who you are, knowing why you are, and always living on purpose. I say this is my promise to you because of this work. And I do believe that I had to go through all of this so that I can say it is my promise to you, that we all come into this amazing Christ self. So it's not important for the wand to be metal. No, my guides ask me to have actually a lot of copper. So I have a lot of copper, but that's a whole new story. So, so if you have this album, and if you don't have it, please do get it, because you see we work with it again and again and again. And maybe you notice every time we work with it again, it's completely different. Even though you've done it before, it suddenly is like, whoa, I didn't notice that this was actually happening when we work with this. So today we will be working with the central spiritual sun, and we will be working with the light of Sirius. So yesterday, if you joined us yesterday, we were downloading these amazing patterns into our subtle bodies. This is so real. And these subtle bodies now have pathways. Every time you do these journeys, you create new pathways and make them stronger and stronger and stronger. So for example, if you are working with this album, I suggest that the next few days, and maybe, the whole lunar cycle that we are following, that you do this 4th journey. So again, I do it early in the morning. The first thing I wake up, but it's just great to start my day by connecting first to the really spiritual central sun, to all the solar lights. And you bring the solar light into yourself. And then you connect to Polaris. Again, this is our true north. We are electromagnetic beings. Electromagnetic beings. That's really important. Ascension will be all about electromagnetic energies. And you see how the animals are now walking in circles. We are changing the electromagnetic field of the earth herself. She's being restored to being more magnetic. You and me are becoming more magnetic. That's why it's so essential to be barefoot outside. Barefoot outside, like we always say, at least a few minutes a day, and consciously uploading the energies of the earth. She wants to inform you every day about her new energy. She's harmonizing with cosmos in a way that she hasn't done for, since the end of really Mu. This is a new level of harmony. So we're going to be meditating mainly with actually this album until December 7th. This we will start tomorrow. We will be contacting Divine Well, and we will be mainly working with the stars of the Big Dipper. This is very mystical. So, and again, I can do a search of Etsy ones. I looked yesterday, I found a lot of the smaller ones with crystal. So As you bring through, of course, you want to bring through the light of source, you know, whatever you want to call it, divine source, come through me now, through the top of your head. Source is always hearing you through your not words, but your love. Source responds to love only. So when it is that we are in love with life, which is Divine Mother's kind of directions, be in love with life, then we are connected to the source energy. So it's good to be in love. And then we connect also to the light of the Pleiades. We create a triangle. We bring in the light of Sirius. Yeah. All of that is true. I'm looking at the direct message that was sent. And we are bringing through the light of the Great Bear, specifically the constellation of the Big Dipper. We are connecting once again to Polaris, our true north. And this is all important because this is an electromagnetic field that we call the rainbow body. This is you in your Christ self, fully enlightened. And this too is the earth when she is fully enlightened. So I see the questions here, and I do not know about selenite personally. I only have experienced the incredible magic of clear quartz crystal, and it prevents all darkness from entering your field. And I kind of like that. So no interference. So there was the question about the animals walking in circles. Yes. What is changing is the electromagnetic field of the earth herself, you know, all these solar energies. But with that, you are changing too. And that's why we meditate. We meditate to be aligned with the new magnetism. That's why we connect with Polaris, Polaris being our true north. We are aligning our being to be truly aligned with the highest sources of light within the cosmic body of Divine Mother. Her body is just like your body, really, when you think about it. You are a minuscule Divine Mother. You have all these systems, all these organs, all these energy flow, all these acupuncture points. You have all these, you know, structures within yourself. You have beautiful blood, and all of this needs to be aligned with the highest sources of light. And so we are evolving with Divine Mother. That's why surrender is so important, being able to listen and hear her through the heart always. And so with this, we go into our meditation. Let me see. I have to find it. So this one is called Sirius and the Central Spiritual Sun. And it is 23 minutes. So let us go into meditation. So again, Sirius and Central Spiritual Sun. And what you are doing is building pathways. How exciting. So this was an amazing initiation, and I apologize. It was from a different album that we have worked with so much. Let me see if I can quickly find it here. It is from Accelerating Your Evolution. So let me see if I can just do this. Oops. Let me change that so that everyone knows what we worked with. This will be the only track that we work with from this album. But again, it's one of my favorites. And for those of you who have it, I'm sure it's your favorite too, because it's just amazing. So this is the one, Accelerating Your Evolution. Now, of course, let's think about this. Nothing is more important than fully embodying your original blueprint from the great central spiritual sun, really our divine source. So this was from this album, and it was number 10. So journey number 10. Few words, 5 minutes about what we have done. You realize the steps taught by Orin are exactly the same steps as the steps that Yogananda gave us, the shortcut. This is the time for shortcuts. We don't have much time, but we have the incredible power right now to be very quick with how we embody our divine self because of all the new energies on planet Earth and in cosmos. We always connect with soul, from soul to spirit, from spirit to our divine source. All suns are central. Our sun is central. It creates conditions for all the planets evolving around the sun, and then all the beings who embody on these planets, whether we know it or not. For example, like on Venus, we have very advanced civilization. We had a fallen civilization on Mars, and many human beings came from Mars to planet Earth, for example, and so on and so on. But the sun itself is central. And then we have other great central suns, central spiritual suns. And again, they are also the center for all that's evolving around them. For example, the center of the universe, the center of the galaxy. And then we have the ultimate, really central sun. And that is the one at the center of creation, cosmos, cosmic body. We have multiple universes evolving. Within those multiple universes, we have multiple galaxies. Oh my gosh, how many galaxies do we have? And then within the galaxies, we have solar systems. All suns are really stars, right? But not all stars are suns. You and me are all stars within creation. Every single being ever created actually is a star. And some become suns. And then, you know, it's evolution. So eventually we all become suns. Eventually every being in creation becomes a sun. Not like son and daughter, but sun as the illuminated one, to a point that you too become a central sun. And so on, and so on, and so on. I've seen this. I had this amazing meeting with what I would call our divine source in 2015. And so it was the divine source that explained all of this to me. And I was blown away to see. Within all of creation, there is no judgment. I just want to say, within all creation, there is no judgment. I know people say judgment day, but no. Creation itself does not judge anything and anyone. Everyone is given freedom to be what they want to be, to experience what they want to experience. And all experiences are self-inflicted, even if it doesn't seem like it at all. Then there is no such thing as blame within the original creation. No one should be blaming anyone for anything. I learned that from Source, because all actually is self-inflicted. And so you and me are stepping into this new understanding of how to use the mind, how to use the heart to be a bigger and better and bigger and better star who eventually becomes a solar being, which is what we are all going to do. The Earth is going to do it too. The Earth herself already has a sun within her. And so she will too do something quite amazing. We just have to surrender to it. And so the only guiding principle that we actually have, all of us in the entire cosmos, is divine love. And divine love is also divine light. They cannot be separated from each other. You cannot have a being of light without love. And who is in love is also in light. Again, the best protection is not even the quartz crystal, but it is divine love. So when we embody divine love, we are truly on purpose. And then we have amazing capacity to be more and more and more and more loving. It never ends. And that is, again, how our great divine source works. And so we will do something amazing in the next few days. We'll start tomorrow. Again, the times are posted on the website. Please do look, because I actually will be traveling so much next week. So I'm trying to always do a meditation, at least one a day. And the meditations themselves are not recorded, of course, because we hope that everybody will, you know, get the albums from Oren and Daben, of course, and support their work. And so every day we will follow now this album, which will be Transforming Your Life with Divine Will. Now, when I travel out of body and I go to these places to bring back this knowledge, you hear in cosmos the sound of music, but you also hear sounds that you translate as words. And one of those words that sound through cosmos is thy will be done. Thy will. That will of the divine source is always love. There is no will that says you need to suffer to learn your lessons. Never. Suffering does not really have any place in cosmos unless humans chose it. So the order number for the divine, the accelerating here is MM030. And again, I can send links to that as well. So, as you know, we always work with this one, and now this is going to be our new one, which we haven't done yet. So pretty amazing. Again, I recommend bringing a lot of light into yourself at the moment. I'm just going to say a few more things, if you don't mind, about ascension process, because that's what's happening. And I have not seen my emails for quite a long time, which I apologize for, but I definitely should. But light, the human being that people call Homo sapiens, whatever we want to call it, the human, is not the original blueprint for creation of the human being. The human being was supposed to be divine human. Divine human, that means bring the 12 qualities of divine source and put them in a body and see what happens. That was the original blueprint. I know many people call it maybe the Homo Christos, the new human, the new earth human. Divine Mother has a name for us. She calls it Hercules. And if you look at the origin, the word Hercules, it is not a Greek word, and it is the myth of Hercules. Is actually nobody knows where the word came from. It actually comes from Source itself. When Source had this amazing creative idea to create something so physical like us, the idea was that let's send this beautiful light of the divine self, the fragment of God, and let's send it into the physical world, into the body Deva, the body elemental. So the idea was that this would work really well, of course, if you take a pure body elemental made of Mother Nature, and then you bring the divine source, a fragment, into each being, then everybody's going to have a great time. So we are returning to the great time. We will be transformed so much through what's going on, through divine source, the emanation of light and the solar light, that we will again be restored to this beautiful blueprint of the divine human, of Hercules, of the divine self within the beautiful body elemental that we have. And so these changes will be taking place, and also within the earth. So it's really the end of the old human and the beginning of a new human. And that human is centered in love, nothing else but love. How wonderful is that? So thank you so much for being here and becoming this beautiful Hercules design, the divine human, the fragment of God in a body. So thank you. We'll repeat today at 5 p.m. and then we'll continue our journey tomorrow at the same time and same place. So thank you.